Catherine, I pray no one saw you there that day.
I believe that I was chosen by God to get the king to change his will. You have to go. If they find you here,
We would have to have their head cut off.
I'm sure you would come up with something much more creative.
Sometimes we think you know us better than we know ourselves.
Jude Law and Alicia Vikander star as Henry VIII and one of his wives, Katherine Parr. That's a story not quite as well known, but much of the 6 wives of Henry VIII is well known, and therefore I asked them what they didn't want to do.
I'll go first because I think with Catherine there were so many more options because she had never had her story told.
No, not
right?
really. I was like, you said these things, but I maybe I hadn't seen it, but I felt like I knew the least about her story from what I had seen in television and film.
Because she had never had her chapter.
Yeah.
I just didn't want him to be seen as this, it sounds crude, but like the jolly tyrant. I wanted, you know, there was something always a little, you know, that somehow his laughter and his big personality could somehow excuse his psychopathic tendencies.
That's very often the case with dominant characters who are nonetheless very bad.
Or buffoonish, yeah. I wanted to really make sure that the threat was real.
And I guess what you said about the threat being real, I think that's what I also wanted to do. I want to follow certain information that we know, but first and foremost, I want to be truth to the woman that, you know, started to form within me on set whilst I had all this kind of preparation and information and historical information with me from the beginning.
Jude, this character has come down to us over the years and has remained fascinating. Was there something else about his reign that, like Elizabeth, say, for example, he would have come down to us even so?
The potential that he had and the fact that it crashed into such a physical embodiment of aging and failure that I think is fascinating to all of us. I think, sadly, there are also traits that remind us of figures in modern history. And there are all sorts of parallels that I think equate to the history and the accurate knowledge we have of Henry. And then, of course, how a story like that enters into our
collective imagination.
Exactly.
Thank you both very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Flicks with Patrick Stoner explores the craft and culture of filmmaking that enhance our communities for television stations and websites around the country.